Don't stop.
I just started my podcast and did about 3 minutes of an intro and realized I never hit the record button. So I was sitting here talking to myself in an empty room by myself. But that's just the type of day it's been today, because today has been a really bizarro day. And the reason why is because it is the day after Labor Day. That means summer is kind of officially over, even though it's not. And I had to go back to work after being on vacation. I was in Provincetown and Cape Cod for the last 6 days with friends and had a great time, and thought about a lot of different things throughout the trip. One of the things that I realized is that I don't necessarily want to do a Provincetown vacation the way I've been doing it anymore. I think I really want to do something different. I like going out to dinner. I like hikes. I like massages. I like the spa. I like all that stuff. But what I don't like anymore is I don't like going out to a bar and then dinner and then another bar. And then we're out until all the bars close. And then you got to recover the next day. I'm 52 years old. I don't recover like I did when I was 25 or even 35 or even 45. Like I can't, it takes me forever to recover now from drinking. And I can't help it but to drink too much when I go out with my friends. And I met a lot of interesting, fun people this trip. And I love the Cape, but I need a different type of vacation experience. And so next year, as I was thinking about this on the ferry ride home yesterday and thinking about it last night before I went to bed, that I want a vacation that has a little bit of hiking in it, has some spa activities like a good facial or a massage or both, or I don't know, something good like a day, half day in the spa, and then have a nice lunch with friends or a late brunch, go for a hike, take a nap, read some books, sit by a pool or not, go to dinner, maybe go to a bar and have a few drinks or just have a couple glasses of wine at dinner. Like that's the type of vacation that sounds perfect for me. So maybe just because I'm getting a little older. Also, I was the only person in my group of friends that is in a monogamous relationship, or they were single. They were either in an open relationship or they were single. And, everybody was kind of on the prowl where, don't get me wrong, I like looking at a hot boy in a bar and talking to people and being flirty and stuff, but that's as far as it's going to go with me. And I think I was just kind of reflecting on that on the way home because I had a good time on my vacation. I just didn't have like an amazing time on my vacation. It's not like I'm ready to book Provincetown again next year to do the same thing. I was also kind of told that I should do like off season because I like it when the town's less crowded. Labor Day weekend in Provincetown, it was crowded. I mean, there were so many people there, and you kind of like get gayed out a little bit. You're just like, Jesus, how many more gay people can come to this part of the world and be in this little small town? And there was a lot of gays. You get gayitis almost, where you're just like, oh my God, I can't see another gay person or another lesbian, no more, please. But that's how it goes sometimes. When I go to gay pride parades or when I lived in New York, I remember like being out in the West Village at times. I'm just like, after going out for a whole weekend, one bar to the other and doing brunches and stuff, I'm just like, God, I'm so tired of gay people. I just get tired of the same old people. So it could be gay people, it could be, I don't know, straight people I get sick of. Maybe I just don't like people that much anymore. Who knows? But I also thought a lot about my podcast and just kind of reflected on some of the things that I've done over the past year and 9 months since I started doing my own podcast, because I had to do a 100th episode and I have to do it in the next week. And I have been trying to get my husband, who did the first couple episodes with me, to do this podcast with me, my 100th episode, 100 episodes. And a lot of them have been with me interviewing somebody or having one of my friends on the podcast. But it's like, it's been really fun, but I wanted him to kind of be a part of it and talk with me about what he has seen changed. Disclaimer is that he never listens to my podcast. He says he lives with a podcast, meaning he hears my voice all the time and he hears my stories all the time. So he doesn't even listen to my podcast. He'll tell me something that happened in the news, like something, I don't know, like they're erasing crosswalks in Florida, the rainbow crosswalks. And I'm like, yeah, I talked about that in my Listen Up Girl News podcast last week. It was one of my stories for two podcast stories last week, but he doesn't listen to it. I'm like, just listen to it in the car. He never has time. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm thinking about my 100th episode. I'm thinking about where I want to go on vacation next. I also have a lot of travel coming up for my daytime job this fall. I have so many trips coming up. So I've been thinking about that. And I want to go somewhere for New Year's. And I don't want to go. Last year we went to Iceland for New Year's. And this year I don't want to go to somewhere like Iceland because I don't want to go to a cold vacation. So, but I don't know. I don't want to also go sit on the beach because I don't love the beach. I don't want to ruin my skin by laying in the sun. So these are all like gay white man problems. Where are you going to go on vacation? I also thought about this guest that you're going to hear today. His name is John Trapper, and me and my friends were talking about like shows that are on that we're watching. Like, what are you watching? Like, I'm watching The Gilded Age right now. I never thought I'd have interest in it. Maybe a month ago, I started watching it, and I'm so sad that I'm halfway through the season that they currently have filmed, season 3. I believe there's a season 4, and I hope there is. But it is such an amazing show. And I have a couple other shows that I like when we were talking about these shows. And my guest today, he basically wrote a script or wrote a story, and it had a name, and he pitched it and did all this stuff. And then like years later, starts getting text or emails or whatever from friends saying, "Oh my God, congratulations, your show's out." And he's like, "What? No, my show never got picked up." And we go through his whole story. And he's now suing basically Hulu for this. And it's the first I heard of it. And it's an interesting story because could you imagine creating something, writing something, I don't know, creating a painting, writing a book, and then you never get it fully out for one reason or another. And then you find out somebody else has stolen your idea and you're getting no credit for it. This guy's not even a writer on the show. They changed it around a little bit. And that's all he's kind of asking for is, let me be a writer. He's not. So listen to his story. Let me know what you think about it. I think it's sad because if anybody ever stole one of my ideas or stole something that I was doing that was creative, it would be really, really upsetting. So, the courts, I guess, will decide because he's filed a lawsuit. So we will see what happens. I guess over the next, it could be years until we know what really happens because that's how lawsuits work a lot of times. But I liked his story. I was a little hesitant to have him on at first because I'm like, is this going to be interesting? And then it turned out to be really interesting. And I'm so glad I did. And that happens with me a lot of times when I have guests. I'm like, is their story going to resonate with my audience? Or is it going to resonate with me? And I think it's going to resonate with everybody, this story, because it's interesting. And you're going to root for this guy, hoping that he gets what he deserves, whether he's a writer or some type of payment or whatever he wants. Let's hope he gets it because he deserves it. Thanks for listening and enjoy the episode. Hi, thanks so much for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. Today I have a guest who is a playwright, and he has an amazing story we're going to talk about. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Zach.
Nice to see you too. So we got in contact with each other. I think you have a fascinating story that I would like my listeners to hear. So why don't you start from the beginning of the story and just kind of tell me how this all came to be?
Okay. So I'm a playwright, a gay playwright. My stuff is all LGBT. It always has been. And I started out in Philadelphia. That's where my first theater company was.
Hmm.
And I moved to Boston. I worked out of the Boston Center for the Arts. I did two plays there. I did something called How to Be a Fairy, The Guide to Gayness for Wannabes. And that was like 16 vignettes on the gay lifestyle.
Okay.
And at that point, gay theater was not popular. So we're talking, I was in 1998. And I worked for Harvard University while I was doing that. And so that was sort of my side gig. That was extremely successful, was super fun. And then I did 6 months after Andrew Cunanan killed Versace, I did
Hmm.
a play called Inside Andrew's Head,
Oh,
which did not go over. It went over very well with the straight community, but the gay community did not like it
why?
because they adored Gianni Versace. And I was at the time glorifying a serial killer, a spree killer, as he was called at the time. And
But what
so
about
they
the Ryan Murphy version that came out years later? Is
right,
it
years. Well, it's all too soon.
okay?
It was
Okay.
too soon. And it wasn't funny. It wasn't a comedy. It was, and I really prefer comedy, and now I really prefer comedy.
Yeah.
In fact, anytime I've ever approached serious, just serious, I can pull serious off within comedy, but not by itself.
Okay.
So that, but anyway, I left. I was so embarrassed after that play, and it was a good play. It wasn't because of that, but it was because my beloved gay community hated me
Yeah.
because I had glorified Andrew Cunanan,
Okay.
and then I got national news coverage. But during that time, my friends and I were on the phone every day all over the country talking about this guy, and so I'm writing a play as it's going on. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
why not produce it now? And big mistake. Wait longer for the spree
Yeah.
killers.
I lived in Miami during that time.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I remember whenever going like wanting to avoid going out to bars because they didn't know where he was at the time. And I don't think I ever met him or anything. I mean, I seen Versace and stuff, and he would just be at a bar sometimes.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I had not met him, but I've seen him because he was a very big person, and I had seen him in San Diego where my cousin lived, and I was visiting there. But just so you know, the premise of the play was that I don't know if you remember, but he was. They said they thought he might still be alive, and it was like a hustler that got killed.
oh, I
So
did not know that.
yeah, there was all sorts of rumors going on because nobody saw the body. It was like blown up or so bad or
Oh
whatever. I
yeah,
can't even remember. It's been so long. But so the premise of the play was that he was still alive and somebody like yourself brought him home. So it was really the dialogue between those two men. And one guy trying to figure out why he did it. And that's the name Inside
yeah.
Andrew's Head.
Okay,
Okay, so
got it.
flash forward to me trying to break into television in Los Angeles starting in about 2000. And I wrote tons of spec scripts and things like that. And
Hmm.
for anybody who doesn't know, a spec script is basically where you take like a sitcom and you write that show, only your own version of that show, and you send it typically to another show. So I wrote like a Just Shoot Me, and I would send it to Will and Grace, and
Hmm.
I wrote a Veronica's Closet, and I sent it to Friends, and it was a fun experience. I got to have David Crane, who created Friends, as a mentor.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and he was great to me, and then I kind of got a bit bad taste in my mouth for the business, and so I went
Hmm.
back to academia and I worked for university for 14 years. But in the middle of that, I started my theater company back up, and we did a show called The Golden Gaze, which was about four guys who moved to Florida because they're obsessed with the Golden Girls that had gone off the air, and they didn't know what to do with their lives.
Hmm.
So they lived together in a character called Drag Therapy, and they acted like they were the Golden Girls. So it was a really corny way of being able to tribute the series and do some of the episodes legal.
Yeah,
And I rewrote all of them, and so they would pass the legal sniff test.
yeah.
And so there, the producer of The L Word came to see me after the show one time, and he asked me if I had anything similar for television. I said, "Do I? Yes, I've been working on a sitcom about for gay men that retire early in Palm Springs, so they can be together." And at the time, there was a lot of early retirement going on because of HIV.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying, we don't know how long we have to live, so let's retire early.
Yeah.
So I had written that. It was called Rainbow Estates. And Larry Kinnar, who is the creator of the L Word, he and I just started pitching it. And I wrote 4 different iterations of it, adding a Mexican family across the street, things like that, just to make it more marketable. And it was fun, and I got to present it. It was up on the list at Lionsgate or 3 Arts. It was right there next to Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the Mindy Project, which had a green check next to them, and mine did not have a check mark yet. And I was really excited. I was in this meeting with this woman, Leslie Cullen Small, and she was like, "I don't think I can sell it. It's too gay."
Oh.
And I was
what year was this?
This was in 2013.
Okay.
And so I was like, "Oh, but for logo," and I understand Bravo has a new scripted development, and then she said, maybe. And so I kept on bothering her afterwards about that. And, anytime I had an idea, I would kind of get it to her, and nothing ever happened. So in 2016, I started to hear some rumblings about a show that sounded like mine. So I said, I better protect that stuff. And I registered it with the Writers Guild, and all 4 iterations. So I felt good then, it was protected. And until, I'm living in Mexico, and I'm starting to get, messages in 2025. Congratulations. Like, for what? And it's your show. It's on Hulu. I'm like, news to me. And then we don't have Hulu here. So I got the first episode and watched it, and I was dumbfounded at how much they had stolen from me. It had everything from, the Linda Lavin character on Mid-Century Modern. I had a mother coming in halfway through the pilot. They had one of the men had a daughter in my show. That one of the men had a daughter. And so, and also I had recommended the Harper Marx estate, and the setting for the show is remarkably similar to the Harper Marx estate, which I had been at a number of times for some gay fundraisers. So I was like, what do I do? I mean,
and this show is based in Palm Springs?
Yes, it's based, and they even said, David, or Max Muchnick even said that they originally were going to do it in Florida, but something gave them the idea to do it in Palm Springs instead. I'm like, gee, what could that have been?
And just for the listeners that don't know, in case you haven't seen it, on Hulu, it's called
Mid-Century Modern.
Mid-Century Modern. And who is the stars in that episode?
It's Nathan Lane.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad because I don't know the other. Matt Balmer, and then there's a third gentleman.
Yeah.
And
I knew Matt and Nathan. I can't think of the third one either. But
he's really good, and he's done a lot. And by the way, like I love every actor that's appeared in the show. So that's the thing that's really hard about this, because I love a lot of the people involved, even some of the people that I'm having to name in the lawsuit.
Yeah. So start there. So you've seen this, and you've seen the show, and you're like, wow, this is my show.
Yeah.
It's got so many elements. And then what was your next step?
To start talking to people, I talked to one of these. There was a third person that was helping us with development, and he said to me, I said, have you heard of this show? What do you think? And he said, I think you should pursue your lawsuit. And just to go back, I've also been a paralegal for the past, when I retired early from Cal State Long Beach, I became a paralegal, and that's what I've been doing for the past 14 years.
Okay.
Just because I really like law, but I'm semi-retired. I'm not doing it a lot, and I really didn't want to be getting into an intense legal battle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's what these things are all about. Otherwise, they could be stealing content from low-level creators. I never got into television, so I had no power in the industry. I did a lot of background work and things like that, but I never got a script officially sold for television.
Did you reach out to someone that was part of the show to talk to them about it?
Everyone, from Larry, the guy from the L Word, and he said, "Oh, I don't remember us trying to sell it to Lionsgate." And I'm like, I have email from him saying we're
Yeah.
pitching to Lionsgate and Three Arts Entertainment tomorrow. And then I contacted the woman that we pitched to, and
Okay.
I did this officially. I did it in a notice of intent to sue, and I was really, really nice. I basically was like, I just want a little credit, a little compensation, and more than anything, I would like to write for television. It was my dream. So bring me in for the next season.
Yeah.
And those things were ignored. So
There was no response at all.
no response.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's we're talking about 4 or 5 entities. Well, one person and then 4 entities: Hulu, Fox 20th Century Television, Komoot Productions, and Three Arts. And it's been really hard to build the the way that it got to there, because the industry is so fluid. I had to trace it, but it goes almost like Hacks, which is a series that I also love.
Oh,
That
yeah. I love that series too.
is produced by Three Arts, and one of the executive producers of Mid-Century Modern is coming directly out of Three Arts. So I don't know until we get into Discovery, like exactly how it made its journey from my pitch to Three Arts to what ultimately was other production companies. But the industry, the way it works, it's certainly going to be. I've been able to spell it out to some extent already, but once we go to Discovery, I'll be able to spell it much better.
So had they had their legal teams reach out to you in any response or anything, or just
Well,
there's just nothing?
Yeah, the lawsuit was just filed last week,
Okay.
and service has only. We're still trying to catch the woman, so to serve her, but she knows about it. I mean, I have press releases out there on the internet. There's no way people aren't seeing it,
Yeah.
and being told that that's going on.
And what do you think the timeline is for this to kind of start and like for a court to actually accept it?
Well, it's filed, so it's accepted.
It's accepted. Okay.
Yeah, they will likely do motion to dismiss, a demur, the various ways of trying to get rid of the lawsuit. I pretty much have anticipated all of them, so I don't think that will happen. I think we will get into Discovery, and I'll have some answers of how this happened. That's what I'm most excited about. Is I want to see, I'm going to get to see how the industry works, because they're going to have to provide emails regarding the show. I want to know how they got Nathan Lane to take this. Did they present my script and then, create a new thing?
Yeah.
Did they, what happened? Like how did this unfold? By the way, I just want to say my show is much funnier, and it's much better, but that tends to happen in Hollywood because it's writing by committee.
Yeah.
And, you have to, everyone has to allow for somebody else's opinion, so it gets watered down. Although it does have funny moments, and I don't want to take away. I mean, you can't have Nathan Lane delivering a line, and it not be funny.
And we'll be right back. Okay, now back to the show. I actually have not watched the show yet, but I am going to watch it. I feel like I don't want to. I feel like I don't want to support it because they stole it from you, but I'm going to watch it.
No, I would say support it. I mean, if it's doing well, it's only better for me. If even if they did steal it,
Yeah.
It got some bad reviews, and that's one of the things I say in the lawsuit is, had I been involved, I think the show would have been better. And so now I'm not able to do it because you guys took, my original concept. And then the other arguments will be, well, it was really just a knockoff of Golden Girls. And I'm like, no, mine was much deeper. And these guys are going out and selling it the same way I was selling mine, that it's much deeper than that they're dealing with, really the chosen family of gay people and that sort of thing. It's rather farcical because to get 4 gay men to live together would be impossible anyway. For more than a
Yeah.
vacation,
Yeah. Yeah. It's even hard to go on vacation sometimes with friends for more than 5 days. So yeah,
yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. So what do you think the outcome will be though? Once the discovery happens, what do you think that you will get some type of restitution? Do you think you'll get any payment for this or get any credit for this or be brought on as and is there a season 2 renewal yet?
There is not yet, based on today's market. I think that it could be renewed. It's been very good for Hulu.
Okay.
It brings subscribers to them, so it could be renewed. Even if it's not, well, it's kind of weird because Hulu owns it, so they can just keep it forever.
Yeah.
Um, they might not want to have other streaming services, so it's really a mixed bag of where it could go. I do hope they get another season because that makes the case more
Mhm.
relevant. I mean, everybody already made their money off of it, so if they were told to, they have, that, like I also did what they call a takedown notice to Hulu. And I said that, we're going to be in litigation. You need to take this down until it's resolved. And they ignored that as well. They didn't even respond. And this is a very formal process. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act is
Mhm.
covers that, and they're supposed to take it seriously.
Are they allowed to legally just ignore your request?
We'll see. I mean, no, that's the thing. It's Hulu is digging a deeper grave by ignoring my request.
Okay.
And I have record of that. Now it's recorded in the lawsuit as well, so they could. It's not like they don't know.
How common is this to happen to people where their work, you always hear about a song being stolen or, a melody of a song, but a series or a movie, I mean, is this common?
There's like the same cases that people cite all the time, and I think you were probably just talking about the Steal Away Doobie Brothers case,
Yeah,
which is,
there's lots of yeah.
there's another one having to do with Coming to America, which was stolen from a famous author who had a treatment. But those cases, they settled for peanuts compared to like a typical misappropriation case, like for intellectual property.
Yeah.
Those things are settling for millions and millions of dollars now. So this could go anywhere. I expect that I'm up, this is a David and Goliath fight. I'm up against major
Yeah.
corporations. I'm doing it myself. But what was important to me that I get it filed because that is public record. It'll be out there forever. And even if it's out there with no resolution, ultimately, I've won in that way because now they can't do it again if there's a record of them having done it out there. So if they do it to other people, and who knows, there may be people that come forward and tell me that it's
Yeah.
happened to them as well. So I can tell you, I won't give names, but I had dealings with some of the people early on in my time in Hollywood, and they were the reason I wanted to get out of there because it's just a
That's
nasty.
part of this project?
No, not. And when I was
No.
first trying to get scripts
Yeah.
out there, there
Mhm.
were certain people. Well, let me put it this way. I'll give you a hint. I wanted to have the first like gay show on television, so
Yeah.
I was really trying to get into Will and Grace.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just say one of them is a very nasty man, and
Yeah.
allegedly, I'm alleging that he is a nasty man.
Yeah.
Totally my opinion,
Yeah.
but this is not about revenge. I'm in a place in my life where I'm really spiritually grounded, and so I'm just going to have some fun with this for to see it through, and then I'm willing to walk away at the right time.
But you want credit for your work that you've done, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it's going to be up to a jury to decide whether they agree that it's similar enough to my original concept.
So do you think that's what's gonna happen? It will have to go to a trial, but what if they settle? Would you settle with them if that's what they wanted, or would you want it to go to a full trial?
Well, I mean, the most information gets exposed in a trial, and in any for like all the lawyers that I worked for, they always take things full on to trial. That's the plan. So the settlement would have to honor some of my requests, like get some sort of credit
Mhm.
for having created the show. I mean,
Yeah.
I was the one who was going to have the first show of this type on television, and that's now never going to happen, not in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So, and it's you're a creative guy, so I'm sure you know what that feels like.
Yeah. Is it public record on how much that you're requesting or what you're requesting from them?
Yeah, there's what you call the prayer for relief in the end of the lawsuit, and it's pretty clear, all the potential damages that
Okay.
are there, and potential for income that I didn't get, stuff like that. But it's really not about money. You just have to do that. All lawsuits are about money,
Yeah.
and yet, and one of the lawyers that I work with, we were kind of laughing because I was like, I think it would be great if they brought me in as a writer, and they're like, they're not going to bring you in as a writer.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in Hollywood will see this and say,
Yeah.
let's see if this guy can write, and invite me to participate. But it's like employment law. A lot of times you'll see demand reinstatement.
Mhm.
Nobody's ever going to reinstate.
Yeah.
They'll pay for you to go away rather
Yeah.
than have you anywhere near them.
Well, if they came in and offered you just a couple $1 million and said, here's money for it, we're not giving you anything else, would you be satisfied with that?
Possibly because the story is out there. I've made sure of that.
Yeah. Is that why
And
you did the press release and why you're doing podcast is
yeah,
to
yeah,
get the story out? Yeah.
yeah, because I think it's extremely important, and it's a way of educating sort of the public,
Mm-hmm.
especially now because people are putting their stuff out there,
Yeah.
no protection at all, and they think that, well, it's mine, and like, I'm amazed at the people that don't understand that their stuff can be stolen, and like even yours, I don't know what you do to protect yourself, but it's a very ruthless business, and if they can steal it, they will.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. The show, The Golden Gaze, I had, and I'm not going to, it's going to be hard to talk about this without being direct. But the minute I even trademarked that show because it was so successful. And you can't really trademark a show. So I had to trademark it in a certain way and that, and, it was copywritten, the show itself, but I needed to trademark the whole concept, like everything around it. And I did. I kept it for 10 years. And like the day that the trademark was up again, this show that travels the country, that's a drag show, they trademarked it as well.
Oh, wow. Really?
And like, yeah, and I haven't done my show, which is a really good musical parody.
Yeah.
And this is kind of I'm a big drag fan. So it's not like I'm not going to poo-poo what they do.
Yeah.
It's just different. They're doing a drag show. I did like a musical theater piece. Mine was like Forbidden Broadway. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
Yeah.
but it added songs that were parodies of famous musicals and stuff like that. And
Have you gone to see their the
yeah,
drag show? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and it's fine. It's and because I can rename the play and do it again. It's like if I need to market it. So it's a different kind of theft.
Yeah.
They were kind of riding our coattails because a lot of people in the beginning thought that was my show, and I just couldn't. I didn't have the resources to keep producing it. It was it was a lot.
Yeah.
We did a 500-seat house in Miami with that show, and it was supposed to be a little fun show that I did in a black box in LA, and it just went nuts. And it always got good reviews.
Well, it's a shame that, you've come up with this whole creative series, pitched it, and then somebody stole it. I mean, I think that just, I hope you get some recognition, that you're looking for in the end, even if it takes years. Hopefully they'll give you some recognition for it. And
yeah, if you know where I was spiritually right now, the thing that I wanted the most, like out of this, I was like, we're all one, and all this the new age kind of spirit. Like I'm truly there now. It's much easier when you're not in the rat race, and I'm not really in the rat race anymore. So it's very easy to get grounded, and I don't want to sue anyone. I don't want to, but it was like I was confronted with this, and I was like, I can't sue because, and then spiritual people around me said, well, you have to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And it's been my whole life. I've been an activist for my whole life. So it's like when you're confronted with something where you have no choice but to do something, I would much rather have ignored it. I curse my friends who let me know about it.
Yeah.
But it was crazy though. I started hearing from everyone, that's your show, right? And people who knew what I was pitching. who I was working with in Hollywood at the time, literally walking around thinking that I have a show on TV. And, you know, uh, I think I would have mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's not. I agree. I'm not such a suing type either, but I do think that the recognition is important for you to get, and just for somebody to be made accountable for doing the wrong thing. That's the biggest thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I think it's important.
I think that the proof is there. It's if one of the things that you have to do for this type of case is you have to show that there's substantial similarity. There's two prongs. It's very simple. Either show that they had access, which I can do,
Mhm.
and that there's substantial similarity. Well, when I go through the first episode, I'm like, they didn't even try. Like
Yeah.
they didn't even try to make it seem different. They added a black guy instead of a brown guy.
Yeah.
That was basically the only thing that's different. And I mean, I feel like they literally had my script in the writers' room, and we're going like, oh, well, let's change this, and
Yeah.
it's just too obvious, and I can't just let that be.
I mean, they could have put it in Chat GPT and just said, "Make this a little different," and it could have been that easy too, you know?
Yeah, I haven't found the funny in Chat GPT.
No,
It's
no,
not.
I know. It's just a kind of a joke, but, I
It's
mean, then maybe if it's that similar, maybe they didn't even put that much effort into it, you know? Maybe they just tried to well, it sounds like they had to tone it down since you said yours was, a funnier version, so they had to tone it down maybe a bit and
mine talked about HIV/AIDS a little bit,
Mhm.
and in a funny way that maybe some people would have a problem. But you know how when gay guys get together and
Yeah,
there's really no holds barred there.
yeah,
So it would be, and there was also a lot of promiscuity, but there was also it was like it brought it in a way that and that's one of the similarities in the show is that the two friends are trying to keep the third one from being so promiscuous,
yeah.
and because they think it's not healthy. And so that was a big thing, and that's a big thing in this show. I don't remember. I don't know if they get into the pilot. I mean, I felt done after just watching the pilot. I was like, all right, I have enough.
Yeah,
And that's really the most important thing, because once they got going, they could go anywhere they want with it.
yeah, exactly.
The pilot episode is how you sell the show.
If one of the listeners want to find out more about this, what can they just Google your name and kind of find the press releases, or you have a website, or?
Well, I started a website that I'm going to put every document because I want people to see. And it's really for, again, if there are other creators,
Mhm.
other people who go through this. And by the way, I believe in lawsuits. I just didn't want to be in one myself
Yeah,
at this point. So it's for people to give them sort of a guideline in what happens in a lawsuit so they can see what to do. A lot of the lawyers that I consulted, they wanted me to do a federal copyright infringement lawsuit, and I may even do that as well.
okay,
Anyway, the website is a midcenturymodernlawsuit.info.
got him, okay.
And I'll just be putting all the documents right there so people can read them. And it's going to be very transparent. I want people to learn from this, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, maybe we'll make people think twice also before doing something like this, in the future.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things whoops. There was one moment that I feel like during the process of pitching that they were trying to see where my power was. They wanted my credits in the industry and stuff like that, which was kind of odd. I felt like I was being sized up for like, do we have anything to worry about if we
Mm,
want to steal this, or maybe at that point it wasn't even steal, or maybe
yeah,
they were get it cheap or whatever. They may have, when they finally got to the script, and I think they started working on it in 2022. They may have said, yeah, he's still not doing anything. It's not on the IMDb, so we don't need to worry about it. And just we'll make it a little different. And he may be dead. I'm kind of off grid, so
yeah.
they may have said, no, there's no obit, but we haven't heard anything from him. So
Hmm. Well, I wish you luck. I hope you get what you want from it, and I hope you get the
thanks.
credit for, being
Yeah,
creative and they recognize that, so
Yeah. And thanks for your show.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John, for being on again. I'll put the website that John mentioned in the description of this video or podcast. So go and check it out. And thanks so much for being on, John. And
Oh,
and come back when you know the answer to it. And hopefully you'll come back and say, I'm moving to California. I'm going to be a writer on the next season.
yeah,
So
that would be the ideal, but they'll never do that. But that would be my idea more than money. Like that would be definitely the ideal.
all right. Thanks so much, John, for
Take
being
care.
on. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.